Hello, I'm Teddy Jones, and I'm going to talk to you about marketing yourself in the performing arts industry and how I've successfully managed to market myself through social media, advertising in all sorts of ways. I'll be comparing traditional methods to modern methods, and I'll be discussing the positives and negatives of traditional and modern methods, most importantly, the use of social media to market yourself. Now, I started off, my first form of marketing was my headshots. I believe this is something all actors should have to start off with, because it's the one image that you will send off to casting directors, you'll post everywhere, and that'll be your kind of signature, is your headshot. So you use that for auditions, you use that for everything. So I got a headshot. Now, it wasn't a professional one, I just got it taken in the garden, as you can see. Yeah, so you don't need a professional headshot, you don't need a professional photographer, just someone who's willing to take it, as long as you set it up well. And then you've got the headshot to use to advertise yourself. So this headshot can be printed off, posted to casting directors. So there's one traditional method, is posting personally, writing to casting directors with your headshot, to explaining a bit about yourself, so your personal statement or CV. So this could be via a letter, or it could be via email. Now this can be done, you can find emails online anywhere. And so you've got your headshot and you've got your personal statement, which is very important because that's telling the casting director about yourself without meeting you. So you need to make sure you get this right. Now, in your personal statement, you should put any extra skills that you have. Now, I believe it's very important to showcase and market your extra skills. So if you set up a social media page, which is the next step that I took after my headshot, then you're going to be reaching out to a wide audience. Everyone will be able to see it. All sorts of casting directors, fellow performers who can then share it around. And it's a platform that you can use for free to showcase your talents. So for example, you could put on a video of, say, like I've done, playing the piano. The extra skills that market yourself as an all-round performer, just to help you reach out to more people who'll be interested. So say you could, in the hashtags, you could hashtag more things in terms of music, piano, and it just helps you to reach out to a wider audience. So social media is a big one that I use. So you can post your headshot on your social media page, like I've done. You can post videos of your performances, whether this be musical, whether this just be rehearsal, anything that you have that you think is good quality and that can be picked up by a casting director or a fellow performing arts, fellow performer who will think, I like that, I'll share it around, and then you're helping each other out. So I've done this with Instagram, because I feel like that's the best platform in terms of photos and videos to share around. And most professionals have an Instagram. You'll see the verified tick. I don't quite have one of those yet, but hopefully I soon will, with all the jobs that I'm getting, and if I'm showcasing myself well, that's what I will get. And so you can contact people on this. I'd probably say Twitter is the best place if you're wanting to contact industry professionals, as this will always show up. People are all the time replying. An example of mine is, a few years ago I posted a video to Twitter of me singing Past the Point of No Return from Phantom of the Opera. Now, I posted this video to Twitter and I tagged the official Phantom of the Opera page and Ben Forster, who was playing the Phantom of the Opera at the time, and he replied to it, which is fantastic. And it just proves that, and you can reach anyone through Twitter, and that was just by me posting that video, but then that is me getting recognition from industry professionals, and that's something that I can always say. You know, I've been recognised by this successful performer, and so it helps build my, you know, morale. So yes, Twitter is a good platform because you can reach out to so many people. I'm probably more active on Instagram than Twitter, just because that's the platform which I prefer to use. Networking is another big marketing tool, so it's always important to make new contacts face to face. So you want real life networking. An example of this is when I go to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I went last year, and we go to the launch party, which is a chance for all the directors, all the actors and performers to meet, discuss what they're doing, talk about, you know, the performances that they're in, and a good place, an opportunity to make new contacts. So that's always important. Another example of networking is when I was in high school, we had Oliver Tomset, who is a performer in the West End. He came in to do a workshop, and I said to him, you know, what you've done with us is great, you know, I've learnt a lot. And I got his email, and I asked to keep in contact, and I did. And when I was auditioning for Pendleton, I asked him if he could just send me across some tips, you know, for the audition, in terms of my voice, because this is something I really struggled with, was my singing. And so I asked if there's any tips he had for me to improve my singing, and he sent over a video of a vocal warm-up that he uses. And so that's a perfect example of how I've used networking to market myself, and then I've got that contact, and then he's helped me along the way. So that's how I've improved along the line of becoming successful, is through making contacts and being in contact with him. And there's been many occasions where I've gone to watch a show, and afterwards I've hung about, and you talk to people, you talk to the director, and it's just getting your name known, just introducing yourself. And so then if they ever see your name, if you're going for an audition with them, if they ever see your name come up, they can think, oh, I remember them. I remember, you know, they were a nice person, and I'd like to see more. And so it's always good to get your name known, so that's also very important. Now, networking is a very traditional marketing technique, because it's what people have been doing for years. Before there was social media or internet or anything like this, networking was always the best way to market yourself. So in Shakespearean times, there would have been all sorts of directors and writers going to watch other people's performances, and they'd talk and discuss, and they'd join together. And this is how it built up. You'd make contacts, and then you'd work together, and then you'd create something, and that would become successful, and then that would be what leads to your personal success. So networking is a traditional method that is still used today. There is nothing better than face-to-face conversation with a real life person. Although social media is good, you don't get that same interaction. You know, there's nothing better than a handshake, confirming it. So, you know, social media, you don't get that. You don't get that same contact. You can't judge a person as well. You can't judge the personality, and if you're going to work well or not. It's harder to see through social media. And so networking face-to-face is traditional, and it's a good way of doing it. A more modern method of marketing yourself, but also more of a traditional one since the internet has been around, is having your own website to market yourself. There's a lot of examples of actors who have websites, and they have down their professional credits, and they have down the training, everything they've done, what agent they're with, and it's so anyone can access it and see all their information. So with social media, you can't put as much written information, so you can't put your credits down, you know, you can't have different pages, whereas if you have a website, you can have different pages, so you can go on a page to see credits, and it'll all be listed there on one page. You can see information about their agency, all there on one page, what they've done. And so a website is a very good thing. and it's free via Wix. You can use the website Wix to create a free website and start yourself up. Although if you want to get your website on a top search, then you're going to have to pay for it, but obviously it'll all pay off if you are marketing yourself successfully. And it's just another way for people to easily search up and see who you are without having to pay anything, without having to do too much searching, because the internet is so, vastly used today. It's a brilliant platform, just like with social media. You can also put a link in your social media to your website, so people can, find it all via that. So you can link it all together so it's all in one big place, so it's easy to find. Now, social media as a whole has had a massive impact on the performing arts industry and marketing yourself as a performer. There's both positives and negatives to it. So a few positives are, with social media, you can reach out to anyone, anywhere, all across the world. However, negative to that is the people you're reaching out to, you're not being able to meet them face to face. So in terms of networking again, you can network over social media, but you're not having that face to face interaction, that real life contact. Social media also means you can put links to buying tickets for shows as well, so it's a really quick and easy way for someone to find you as an actor, find what show you're in, follow a link and book a ticket. Rather than if it was face to face, you'd have to go out and sell the tickets and they'd have to go and buy a ticket, go out the way to buy the ticket. So it's a lot easier, and it'll make more people want to come and watch a show and buy a ticket because it is so much easier. Technology has also led to an increase in employment, because in terms of auditions, in the past you'd have to write to a casting director or get your agent to write, and then they'd write back to you, and then they'd invite you to go to an audition. So you'd have to travel, you'd have to prepare for it, and you'd have to know it, and then you'd have to be there and perform it, and then of course travel back. All for, it could turn out to be for nothing because you might not get the job. And so sometimes it might be off-putting, if you find out you've got an audition but you have to travel, to the other side of the country, you might think, there's no point doing it. If I don't get it, I'm going to have to be paying a lot of money to travel there for accommodation and what have you, and then you might not get the job. So people might put that off. Whereas today, you've got self-tapes that you can video with technology, and you can send off through an email. You can send off your self-tape. And so this changes a lot. You're not having to pay for travel, you're not having to pay for accommodation, you're not having to pay for all sorts like food while you're down there. It's also easier as well because you've got more than one chance to get it right if you send in a self-tape. If you're in an audition, you've got one chance, you have to do it perfect. Otherwise, that's it. With a self-tape, you can film it. If you don't think it's very good, you can go back, film it again. And so you can get that perfect video, that perfect audition. So this has had a massive impact on employment in the industry, is self-tapes. However, with a self-tape, again, you're not getting that face-to-face contact, so it's always good for a casting director to know your personality and know what you like, and this can't always be done, or can't always be, seen through a self-tape. Whereas if you go to an audition, you can have a chat with them, they can ask any questions they want, they can find out about you, and so here you've got more chance of getting a job if they feel like they know you. Whereas the self-tape's a lot less personal in a way. Everyone can send a self-tape and that's all they get. They just see that one bit. They don't get to find out what you're like as a person. So in some ways, you'd have less of a chance getting the job if someone had gone to the audition and someone who sent a self-tape. They're more likely to choose the person who's gone out of the way and made the effort to go to the audition and meet them face to face. And so it's always good to make every effort to go to the audition. If that is, if you've got the offer between sending a self-tape and going, I'd say always go for the audition. So the Instagram page, I thought I'd show you an example of what I'm talking about when I talk about the Instagram page. I'm going to show you an example of my Instagram page. So as you can see, I've got the headshot. My headshot is my profile picture there, so people can see. Actor is the status, currently training at Pendleton School of Theatre, so I've got the information of where I'm currently at. That link there is for this, which is my Saturday night and Sunday morning performance, which we're taking to the Edinburgh Fringe this year. So I've put the link in the bio for buying the tickets. As you can see, I've explained it, you know, all the details, where it is, and everyone can see that. And here I've got the choice to promote if I want to. And what you can do, you can click that. Oh. What you can do, you can click that to pay to promote your page so more people can see it. If you wanted to. So as you can see, we've got this, so some behind the scenes footage of some filming that I was doing the other weekend, and keeping that up to date so people can see what I've been up to. There, as we've seen, the Saturday night and Sunday morning advertisement, so there I'm marketing myself and the show that I'm in. Here's Phantom of the Opera that I did at college, so I'm listing my credits mostly on this as I'm going through, you know, saying what I've been doing, the shows I've been in, some more filming, behind the scenes footage there, some more advertising for a play that I was doing at college. And here you can see for things like this, and this is some credits from shows that I've been in, showing a screenshot of some footage from a short film I was in. So here I'm showing that I've been, you know, doing stage and screen stuff. Here is a job that I used to do, whereas a children's entertainer. So I'm showing the variety of jobs I've had within the performing arts industry. And here was my first headshot photo shoot. So this was just done on a normal camera, you know, nothing too professional. But as you can see, it just takes a bit of editing for it to look good and professional. So here's another credit from when I was in Les Mis, some professional photographs. So that's important. And you can keep up to date with how many profile visits you've had. So if you click on the insights and see how many people have seen it, you know, who's been looking at it and all that. If you go on audience, it says how many followers, whereabouts it's being seen, the age of the people who've been seeing it. So you can see your target audience here. So all in all, social media is a massively successful platform for marketing yourself as a performer. And I'd recommend it to anyone who's wanting to become successful. Everything I've mentioned in this video both has its positives and negatives. But it's definitely important to market yourself and get your name out there and get yourself known on social media.